Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Just Annoyed, continuing our conversation on The Stand. And once again, I am joined by Ken and Paul. Ken, why don't you introduce yourself, tell people where they can find you.
Hey, I'm Ken from Pinky's Out Podcast and Downright Annoyed with Movies on the weekends and here when we find something cool to watch. So,
yeah. And Paul.
Yeah, same places as well as on the Tales from the Flip Side YouTube channel. I try my best to be there for our main show Monday nights about 9:30, and on Instagram at Paul's Problems CBSI.
You know, not only did I fail you guys by starting the episode later than we had discussed, but I also realized that I did not email back the Enduring Love fan. So I still need
about that.
I still need to do that. So look for that next.
How his brother's doing, because it's probably just Paul's brother. So
yeah, it's Paul's other email address. Is right.
Right.
How can I come? No wonder the spelling was so bad.
Right.
But but yes, another episode. Let's just play the song and jump right into it.
Yep.
Sorry to cut you off there, Ken. Hopefully you didn't. You don't ever have anything important to say.
So. No, I was just going to the music. So
all right. Yeah. Anyway,
2 episodes. I get it though. Another episode of your show reviewing 2 episodes of The Stand.
Anyway, so kind of a recap on where we left off last week. Paul seemed a little bit warmer on the show than Ken or I did, but not like boiling hot on the show.
Right.
Ken and I had a lot of problems with it. I guess without going into what the episodes were actually about and what happened this week, do either of you feel better, worse, or the same about the show overall? Ken, I guess starting with you.
I feel better. It's starting to turn on me. I want to say the second half of the third episode started turning it around, and then this last episode that was released today, really, I think they're going in a good direction. I hope it's going the way I think it's going. So.
Yeah, and Paul, how about you?
Yeah, kind of the same. Getting more interested in the characters themselves, even though the ones I hate to see because I just don't like, as you're supposed to hate them. So, getting into the characters more, the story more, and seeing where it's going to go. So.
Yeah, it's funny watching this because I also enjoyed these last 2 more. I think the one today was the best one so far. Which is funny because it doesn't have any Randall Flagg in it, but
I was gonna say that too.
But yeah, I was enjoying it. Now, part of it's tough for me though because I'm wondering if I only feel this connection to the characters because I know them from something else. So I've been watching it with my wife, and she's usually pretty good about like following shit. And it is a little like it's jarring because you didn't really get to see a lot of these things develop, like what's happening in Boulder right now with how the characters are acting. They're kind of showing you that as it goes. And there was one point where she's like, well, is Harold like a jealous, like bad guy? And I'm like, well, it's funny because I know the answer to that because I know the story. But I don't know if you're supposed to know or not. Like you can tell he's jealous, but is he a bad guy? Like, I mean, I guess figure it out yourself, but at the same time, it's like, I don't remember if that was really revealed. And then I realized, okay, in episode 3, they kind of did go through that. But I can see where it would get a little bit muddled, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. But I would like to point out one mistake I made last time. I'd like to correct an error I made.
Only one.
Yeah, I died. It's the first one all year. It's day 7 of the new year, and I finally made a mistake. But yeah, so I guess I had made mention of it being a bit spoilerific that she's pregnant with Stu's kid. It's not Stu's kid.
No,
she was just pregnant. I forgot all about that when that came up. I'm like, oh, duh. But I will say you can obviously see that they're together. I mean,
that was my thing that I laughed at from episode 3 because Ken had mentioned that too because the jumping time thing. Well, she's pregnant and showing already. But yeah, so watching the show, I thought the same thing until episode 3 where she pulled out the picture of her and her boyfriend and said, "Meet our kid." So I thought that was actually pretty well done because I didn't know, threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Well, and it explains more too of why she did what she did when Harold found her, when he found her in the bathtub with all the pills.
Yeah, because
she added that whole dimension because remember, she'd been on her phone, she'd been trying to call somebody, not just her dad. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it just added more to it. It was good. I liked the twist. It was different. So
yeah,
what did she? You mean just trying after the bathtub, after he rescued her? What she did?
No, before the bathtub.
Well, the fact that you would have to have that burden of not only being in that situation by yourself, but knowing that you're pregnant and you're like bringing a child into it.
Yep.
That would be rough. So yeah, I would agree with that. Now, I do think it was that way in the book though, too.
What? Okay.
Like,
it's been so long since I read the book.
I remember a scene that, and this might have been something that they cut, that was cut in the version you read, Ken. The one that's only like 900 pages.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But no, there was a scene where she talked to him about that. So yeah, that makes sense for her character. Again though, like they set that up as kind of a reveal, but it's like, well, wouldn't that have been more interesting to have as kind of the basis for her character before we're 3 or 4 episodes into the show? I don't know. I guess that, they're doing a different thing. I can sit here and bitch about it all I want. I can't change it. I'll wait for the fan edits to come out in a year to do that. But yeah, overall, I'm feeling pretty good. Now,
so what do you guys think about Nick?
I love Nick.
I like the way they developed him in episode 3 and farther in episode 4 here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we meet a couple more characters. I guess not meet them. We had seen them in the previous episodes, but we get to know them a little better. There's Nick Andros, who's the deaf mute character with the eye patch.
Yep.
There is Nadine, who we get to know a lot more in the
episode 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I like all that stuff. I think that, I know, Ken, you kind of had a little bit of issue of how they're being cast, but I like everyone, how they're cast. And it's funny because they also introduced Tom Cullen in.
Yes. Okay. Yep. But, and I will say this too. I am warming to the casting.
Okay.
Good.
This 4th episode, I'm like, oh, okay. I can see it. I'm kind of digging where they're going. Where, like when they found Whoopi in the nursing home.
Yeah.
With Tom and Nick. Okay. I'm like, I like the angle of that. It was good. I'm warming to it. And I was so glad that they didn't cut the Tom Cullen's character.
Yes.
He was my favorite in the first series. But I like how he's like all jacked. I mean,
yeah. I thought that because I couldn't remember the name of the character who was deaf and mute, or I'm sorry, who was handicap enabled. But I thought that I was just confused. I thought that the little boy who didn't speak was going to be replacing the mute character in this series until it changed.
Right.
I don't know. Was the little boy in the miniseries? I don't think he was he?
Yeah, I thought they were.
Me.
Yeah, I thought they were trying to throw a curveball of him being,
got it.
The Rob character.
Yeah, you think that he's insignificant because he's not only a kid, but he's also just does nonverbal at this. I mean, he can speak, but I think he's traumatized. I didn't know where they were going with that, but so that I was wrong.
Yeah, and I will say that, and I'm gonna try to not sound offensive here. Tom Cullen, I pictured him. I pictured him to be more handicapped in my version of him,
like more of a quirky type.
Well, more, farther on the spectrum, let's say, because I think of Dauber, who played him in the miniseries.
Oh, yeah.
And the way he played him was very different than this one. This one's more like excitable and like, you wouldn't necessarily know immediately if he wasn't just like spitting it out at you as soon as he meets you to say, hey, I'm Tom Cullen. I'm developmentally, and he's great. And it was funny because at first what I was getting around to was at first I was like, oh, I don't know about this. Like this doesn't, because there's always that problem especially when you've read a book or you've seen a previous version, whatever it is, there's always that problem of like, it's not what you had in your mind, and it's not, but by the time episode 4 ends, I think he's my favorite character in this series already. So
I agree. I agree 100%. What I wonder is with Harold, and you guys can, I don't know what you guys are thinking. I'm wondering if they're just not going to do the trash can man, because it seems like Harold's doing the dirty work that the trash can man did in the book and in the first series.
Well, I mean,
I could be wrong.
Let's rewind a little bit and just like talk about what happened in these two episodes.
Sure.
So episode 3 was essentially mostly centered around the Man in Black, or Randall Flagg, visiting Nadine in her dreams, if I remember correctly, and setting that whole thing up. We get a little past scene of Nadine as a youngster in like home for girls, some sort of orphanage or something, and she's using a what are they called again? Ouija board.
Yep.
Yeah, and it goes crazy. So we kind of get this, and I think that's kind of new. I don't remember that like this was something that followed her basically her entire life.
I really liked that aspect of the long game, because it doesn't show that, oh, the opportunity's open, so Satan just jumps on it right now. It's like, this is a long game in our time, in our timeline.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
I agree.
I would agree. So so there's that. I believe that this is also the episode where we're introduced to Glenn Bateman, played by Greg Kinnear.
Yes.
I like him too.
Yeah,
Greg, excellent. That's when I started to warm to the casting. As soon as he come around the corner with that golden retriever, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And they put in, and of course, I'm not ready for this.
Let me look for it real quick. I'll say in episode 2, didn't Nadine reveal that she had the stone around as a necklace?
Yes.
And that was kind of a tell. I thought that was neat. And then I think at the end of that episode, the box on the bookshelf was rumbling, which appears to have the original Ouija board thing in it.
Yep. I think it's actually a pictograph. I don't think it's a Ouija board, because it's got a pencil on it and it draws out the letters instead of pointing to the letters. A Ouija board, you move the thing around and it points to the letters. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That was very cool. That was well done, I thought.
Yeah, I think so too. And I like the fact that she's a weird character, because like, is she just evil, or does she just feel helpless? Like, this is the first, you know what I mean? She's a strange character, but like, she took care of this kid when she really could have just left him, right?
I view her as, he could have said, take this kid as a cover. I view her as a drug addict, and her drug is Randall Flagg. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Look at you getting all deep.
Ooh.
Well,
he likes to connect.
As you slam down some liquor. Yeah.
No, not slam. Just a little wet in the lips and all.
He filled it 4 times and drank it all right before we got on camera, guys. And
he's got a tap
normal.
I want one of those hats. What'd you say, Ken?
I said he's got a tap right there out of camera view. He just
I wish.
But speaking of deep, so to nerd out a little bit, my favorite, I believe, I guess I would have to like read the whole thing again, but one of my favorite quotes from the book they put in the show, which I really appreciated. And basically, Glenn is kind of a philosopher type. He's kind of an artist, like up his own ass type kind of guy, I would say. But he's got a bit where he talks about basically human nature, and he says, show me a man, and this is from the book, so it might have been different in the show, but he gets you get the point. But show me a man or a woman alone, and I'll show you a saint. Give me 2, and they'll fall in love. Give me 3, and they'll invent the charming thing we call society. Give me 4, they'll build a pyramid. Give me 5, and they'll make one an outcast. Give me 6, and they'll reinvent prejudice. Give me 7, and in 7 years, they'll reinvent warfare. Man may have been made in the image of God, but human society was made in the image of his opposite number and is always trying to get back home. So basically, yeah, like,
but he didn't quote the whole thing, did he?
No. It was a cut down version of it, but it was good. I thought. But we've got a couple people in the chat here. My buddy Nate says I cut my effing hair. And Nate, you're about 10 years younger in that picture, by the way. It's time to update your YouTube picture. But and then Mike, it looks like.
Hey, Mike.
Sweet. But yes. So yeah, I just wanted to read that. That stood out to me when I read the book. I love Stephen King's. I mean, a lot of people talk shit about him. It's like one of these guys who it's like he's up at the top, so everybody just tries to throw shit at him. But yeah, that's pretty fantastic.
And you caught the Easter egg in episode 4, didn't you?
Which one?
In the bus stop.
I saw that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was so funny because it kind of took me out of the show. They have a moment where there's like an old folks home poster, like an ad, and Stephen King,
where she's at her home. Yeah.
Yes. And Stephen King is at the table and it's like he looks like bright and shiny compared to everyone else just because your brain's like, hey, that's Stephen. We are on we've just finished episode 4, Mike. But yeah, what else happens in 3 before we get into what I thought that was the best one? I guess we meet Tom Cullen in 3, right?
We do, right at the end there. Nick loses his eye in a bar fight.
Yes.
But then turns around and comforts the guy that knocked his eye out as he dies in the hospital.
But he doesn't unlock his handcuffs, does he?
Oh no. Nope.
I have a bone to pick with this whole section. Yeah. That happened in a jail, and there was like a sheriff involved, and it was like a long dragged out thing that I actually thought was a really interesting part of the book, where like basically Nick kind of befriends this sheriff and essentially like wants to watches this guy rot over the course of days through the jail cell. So I did not enjoy the new version of that whole thing. They did a hospital thing instead of a jail. But yeah, I guess that's just,
is he sick in the book version, or is
he?
Oh, okay.
He's sick. Yeah. So he beat Nick Andros up, and I believe it was probably the same in the miniseries too. He beat Andros up, played by what's his name in the show? Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe. Yeah, there was definitely a whole jail section. That was like your intro to him.
Because I thought Rob Lowe and Tom ran into each other in like a drugstore. Because
after this was like the first part that had Rob Lowe in the series.
I don't remember him having an eye patch though in the series. Maybe
no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Okay. He didn't, but he did get his ass kicked. He did get beat up. Right.
Okay.
Mike, at this time, we don't know how many seasons this show is going to be. Hopefully more than one.
No, it's only going to be one from what I read.
Yeah, one.
How many episodes?
10, I thought, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
I think so.
No wonder they're rushing so fast. That makes more sense to me than is.
Well, are they rushing, or are they just telling it in a fucking weird order?
No. Well, we were complaining that they were rushing because they skipped over this flashback stuff. So maybe you're right. Maybe they aren't rushing. They're just cutting it. Very odd.
Yeah, I think that's the deal.
I think they had to kind of rush it because they got the production wrapped just before COVID shut everything down. So if I remember,
if COVID made them cut stuff out and cut stuff short, that's just sad to me.
I don't think that's. I mean,
right now.
Okay, do we want another Walking Dead? I mean,
no, I don't.
Right. So
I would say at least 2 seasons. If I had to choose, at least 2 seasons, but I do agree 1 season, if they do it right, is all you need, because
that's a long movie, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the dilemma with everything. It's so easy to start, but how do you end it?
Right.
So you end up in George R. Martin.
Yeah. Yes. I did want to
bring up that piece of shit with me, and I fucking hate that guy.
You and most of fandom.
So I do want to say, I think it was, who was it? Jackson, I think you said how Tom Cullen was jacked, the character.
Not jacked, but very obviously mentally challenged.
Oh, well, so I was going to say in the form of jacked, like a big guy. So was the original actor, Bill Fagerbakke. However,
I have no
like the current Tom. Like
I would say for the time.
I have no problem.
Inflation.
He can be big as hell. I don't give a shit.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I just like he was a big, lovable doofus looking guy. Like the minute you saw this guy in the original series, he was a lovable doofus, right? Whereas this guy looks just like an older bodybuilder.
He looks like the prison guard in Orange is the New Black to me, because that's who he was. But
I only
for
the shower scene, and then I stopped watching it. So
I mean, we're about to talk about episode 4.
Yep.
And we can get into Tom Cullen.
Yeah.
Because man, for as little screen time as he's had so far, like I'm already just in love with the character.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what he's going to do in Vegas.
Jeez, yeah,
that's going to be, because in the original, and the book has been 20 years ago, but it was Sinise, which is Stu. It was Sinise, Rob Lowe, Tom.
No, that's for the stand at the end.
No, I thought they went to Vegas, didn't they?
No.
I don't even remember anyone going to Vegas.
No, they go.
No, you're right. You're right. That was when they went to go try to. Yep. Sorry.
Yep. So there's 2 parts to that.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. Sorry. Got ahead of myself.
Real quick. Yes, Mike. It is CBS All Access.
Yeah. Yep. Perfect. But yes, to talk about 4, since the show jumps around, fuck it. I'm just going to do it too. One thing where I'm going to say that I'm still bothered by this time jump shit is that we've got the scene where essentially they're picking 3 people to go as spies. And first of all, I haven't gotten the impression thus far that whatever's happening, because I haven't seen enough of it out of Randall Flagg, whatever's happening is worth sending these 3 people all the way to Vegas from Colorado. That's the first thing. And then the second thing would be, I should feel a lot more for that scene when they're like picking these people and sending them off. And it's like, I don't know these people well enough. I've got like a little like, what are they called? Cliff Notes version of each one of their stories. I haven't been on this journey with them really. I don't know. It didn't affect me much. Now there's a scene later that did, but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I, being a bit of a stickler asshole here, or what?
No, I think you just kind of. I just don't think the scene where the guy that pulled up in the Corvette hit you like it should have, because here he is. He's showing up with basically a Roman crucifixion, not the stigmata that you see in in most Christian depictions. That's not the way people were crucified. The way he was crucified is the way people were crucified by the Romans. And then, his whole eyes turning black and, basically telling them that he's coming for them.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So,
okay. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess I just, I hate being this guy. I really hate being this guy, but it's like, I remember that scene
but
vividly in the book. And it's like, fuck, I'm 500 pages into this thing by now. I feel like I know these fucking people like crazy. I can put myself into all their headspace. And I mean, I just met Greg Kinnear for like 10 minutes, like I didn't even know his character really. So yeah, I think that there's some problematic stuff, but on the whole, I enjoyed it. The last episode that we watched. Now the 4th one, and I just watched it. So
me too.
Yeah. So the 4th one is essentially, we get a little bit more Andros, kind of backstory with Tom Cullen. We meet a crazy woman character who I believe shows up later, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
And then what else happened in 4? Harold and Nadine were probably the big thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's
basically became his free use boy, with the exception of one part, because that's for Randall.
Yeah,
is concubine the right word? Maybe
right.
I don't know.
I think I'd probably
lady friend.
I think I'd probably be just fine with that, to be honest with you. Unless she was going to take me to court like Johnny Depp and ruin my movie career. But yeah, I don't think Harold probably has many complaints.
No.
No,
but yeah, basically what happens in this episode is when she contacts Randall through the pictograph, he tells her that she needs to kill the witch, which is Whoopi Goldberg, and her 5 puppets, which are the other characters we've been talking about. And she goes, but how? He goes, I've already sent you the weapon.
Yeah, that's the end of episode 3, right? That she discovers he's the weapon. Yeah,
he's the weapon. So then in episode 4, that's when she, uses her weapons to.
She's got some weapons.
She does.
I'm not going to sit here and
he has a hair trigger too, apparently. So
yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. We've got I'm just going to say it. We've got a premature ejaculation scene.
Nice.
So it's a highly inappropriate show.
But it's funny that she's like, "Thanks, trust me, you didn't do me. Thanks. Keep it coming."
Oh god, imagine how bad they all smell. No running water.
Oh god. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We do get the power back on.
Cool.
Harold,
I'm not rooting for the bad guys yet. I'm not rooting for the bad guys yet.
I felt bad for Harold in this episode actually when she shot his best friend, because that's the only guy that has shown Harold like genuine kindness and likes Harold just for Harold.
Yeah.
I think that I feel like Harold is still at the point where he can make a choice until that moment, because he's able to be manipulated as a person. He has that Tom Cruise poster on his mirror. Like, he wants to be somebody. And now he's realizing the price he's going to have to pay to be somebody in this new world.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, but now I'm so far deep. I got to go forward with it. Cause the next thing is, where are they going to put the body?
Right.
Oh, there's some mass graves they could probably find.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I totally agree.
You're right.
That was his buddy. He's like, hey, I'm going to open a movie theater. Yep. You're going to be I need a partner in it. Like, he was his partner for the future. And then Nadine just killed him in cold blood. And at the very, he's freaking dying in his arms, and he says, "Run," to Harold. Like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And by the way, again, I want to say that actor, and I don't know his name, and I'm not going to type right now because I don't want to make that annoying clicky noise, but that actor playing Harold is pretty damn awesome. He's got that, like, he's got that crazy look that Skarsgård or whatever, who plays the other Skarsgård who plays Pennywise.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, he's got that, like, very gaunt, creepy look to him,
like unwashed, methed out carnage.
Yes, yeah, and I like it.
He doesn't look trustworthy in that fucking smile, man.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
it gives you the willies, doesn't it? Like when he,
it's like a, I don't know. I got this drink for you. I you know what I mean? It's just like, no.
Well, in that whole scene where Stu catches up with them, when they have to stop for that truck that's blocking the road.
Explains the future relationship.
Yeah. That was, or he's just laying there on the road peeing his pants, and the girls are in handcuffs and get up and kicking that guy's butt.
He did. I mean, he wasn't a complete coward there, though. Like,
but he didn't put much effort into it.
There was nothing he could do. That's not him. That's what he wishes he could be.
Mm-hmm.
We all know Tom Cruise is that guy. Tom Cruise ends that shit in 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was going to go for his ankle holster, because in episode 3, he mentioned Stu mentioned, well, you got a gun, also in your ankle holster. I thought he was going to ankle holster, kill the truck driver guy. But
that's what I thought at first. I thought he was letting him hit him at first so he could get closer to the scooter to grab his gun. Mm-hmm. I thought that's what he was going for, but then he just laid there on the road and started peeing himself. So
no, it's just another emasculating moment for him, though. The fact that he couldn't do anything and Stu showed up and saved the day.
Right. Oh, and how realistic wasn't it when that redhead got shot?
Oh, it's just to say how. Oh my God, that was
the blood splatter out of the head when the dude got beaten over the head was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Now the chick who survived, was she the mechanic woman who they chose to go to? I thought so.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I think they put that scene in there. So
that's what I thought. Yeah.
The only thing they haven't explained is who's the grandma character is that's going to Vegas.
I want to say that was a guy in the book, and
it was an older guy. Yeah.
So
like a grandpa type.
Yep. So
I do like that they're not all going together. that they weren't stupid enough to say, just go in a caravan and say you ran into each other across the states.
Yep.
Because I think now the reason for that, in my opinion, is it would be too easy for me not to slip up that I knew you from somewhere, like a joke. Like if it were the three of us, I'd make a joke that I knew you ahead of time.
Right.
Or so,
I think
or
that's
something
going to happen in episode 5, though.
Yes, something would slip up if we weren't like dispatched from different roads, or one's on a bicycle, one's in a car. You know what I mean? We're going to get there at different times and all that, which I thought is well written.
I'm excited for Vegas.
I am too. I remember that was good.
I remember one scene from the previews about Vegas, and that's pretty much it. So,
yeah, hopefully we get there next week. I mean, I don't think I want to say not too much happens like on the journey. Besides, maybe they like get one of them gets found and dragged back to Vegas or whatever. But yeah, no, let's talk about Trash Can Man.
Yeah, see, and that was one of my favorite things about the whole Vegas. And especially, the end of the whole series there.
Yeah. So how do you talk about Trash Can Man without spoiling the whole show? Can you? I mean, basically there's this guy who's a lunatic and he goes around and just blows shit up everywhere. And
he's a pyro. Yep.
He's a pyromaniac, and he goes around and he fucking, blows everything up. He's very, I want to say he's Gollum-esque.
Yeah.
And he's not in the show so far at all. So now the way they're telling the story, that probably doesn't matter, because pretty much everything Garbage Can Man or Trash Can Man does, he's not with anyone else from the series until Vegas comes into play. So he could still be in it. And I don't know, to your point last week, Ken, I don't know how they would really have to rewrite the ending pretty drastically if he's not going to be there.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, because that was a great ending. Stephen King usually has a pretty good ending to his stories.
Yeah. See, I don't like the ending, that ending. I like the 100 pages after that. Are my favorite. But anything else from episode 4 for you guys to touch on here?
See, I don't remember the ending. I remember Trash Can Man, the item he was bringing to Vegas, I think.
Yep.
He was bringing it to Vegas, and that's pretty much it from the original series, because like we said, I never read the book, so I don't remember what happens after that, other than what good trumps over evil, trumps over evil kind of thing.
The good guys win. Spoilers, Paul.
Yeah, right. But I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, I don't remember enough to say.
Well, yeah, because he was a pyro and like kind of not real stable. But towards the end there, the item that he was retrieving was making him worse.
Yeah.
He was reacting, I'm not going to say anything.
The ring. It's the one ring.
It's the ring.
The ring ring.
The one ring.
The ring of fire.
I'm going to say that my favorite scene thus far that made me tear up, and it's probably just because I love him in the books, but when Nick says goodbye to Tom.
Me too, man.
How good was that?
My wife was like, "What are you watching?" So I just brought her up to speed, and she's like, "Oh, I never saw the original Stand." As I paused it, so I gave her like a quick rundown of what's happening. But yeah, I was like, "Oh man!" And then I was like, "They even have matching jackets." Like, oh, come on! This is very, very. It was very cute. I'll just say it. It was cute.
That guy's gonna kill it on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, and if they do it right at the end, and everything happens similar to how it did at the end of the book, I'm very, very excited to be very, very touched by this series. So
well, and I liked it too, because it's setting the 5 up for a test to see whether humanity's worth saving, if you look at it this way, because what's her name?
Mother Abigail.
Thank you.
You can call her Whoopi. You can just call her Whoopi. Yeah.
She didn't want him to do anything till God spoke to her.
Oh, and you don't know what he told her. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the character list over here. What Nick told her. Maybe Nick said, look, hey, I don't say anything, but we've decided we're going to do this already. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, I agree. You don't know. And I do like that in my opinion, so far, the series as a whole, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Ken, that Randall Flagg doesn't do anything. It's humanity that does everything. They left the base. The gentleman left the base to get his wife and family. I feel like the only thing Randall Flagg did was open that jail cell
and hold the door open.
Hold the door open.
Guy come out of the base.
Well, he still had a choice to not run.
Yeah, but that's my point. That was my nitpick with that. Is because I think you're latching on to me what the point of the story is, right?
Yeah, right.
That kind of like the quote I read. I mean, the whole concept is like, the hopelessness of mankind's going to just destroy itself, but there's still some good out there. But yeah, that's kind of stepped on a little bit, I think, in that first. Now, you're right about him, also the jail cell door thing. But at the same time, that guy, I mean, he's just an easily susceptible piece of shit anyway, right? I mean, wasn't that kind of...
Didn't he accept the offer before the door was opened? Maybe that's the key.
Yeah, the key was he had to accept the offer, and then he gave him the stone. That the key was the stone.
There you go. Maybe that was part of he had to agree to sell his soul for the door to open. Maybe I don't know.
They put the temptation there.
I don't remember the stone, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go back and watch that episode. It's right when
No. I mean, in the original story, I remember like a magic key and shit. But yeah, the stone thing's interesting because is that what it is? You sell your soul and you have the
mark
stone?
of the beast.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it looks like a claw red through a black quartz.
Sure.
It's supposed to represent the mark of the beast.
I think it would have been cooler if they had a white stone with black marks through it. Like you're pure. You were pure, but now you're not. These black marks.
Paul's just too deep today.
Yeah.
It's too much. We can't
fireball
Paul.
Yeah.
But so I'm trying to think, is there anything else here?
I think we've covered the whole episode. It was just a good episode. It's not like it was an earth-shattering episode. It just, the character development was really good, and it made you care about the characters more this episode, I think.
Yep.
And not so much time jumpy this episode either. There wasn't as much of it, I didn't think. Or it explained so much I didn't mind it.
It was there. It's still, I mean, I think I'm just gonna have, I mean, I'm getting over it. I'm enjoying the series overall at this point, but I do think that I still would rather it not be done this way. I think, I remember the Boulder shit, like them having that big assembly where they vote for the guy, all of that. I feel like has just been ripped of so much power that it had before, just because of the way the story's being told. But I'm still enjoying the show. I can't lie. Anytime that a show has a moment like that Tom Cullen scene that is a genuine moment where I didn't feel manipulated when I watched This Is Us on Tuesday night. It's back on NBC.
Yeah,
now,
complaining about time jumping. That's all that damn show.
No, but that show's different because that show is not necessarily taking place at one time and you're giving you flashbacks. That show is both times. Mm-hmm. Like that show's different, I would say. Maybe I'm wrong. There's no narrative thrust being destroyed in This Is Us because of time jumping.
Talk about a show that could have only been one season.
Oh, it's going to go for 20 seasons. Come on.
That sister can't live but another 2 or 3 years.
The new Law and Order. It's going to go on forever.
Now, Law and Order SVU, by the way, I knew it was on for a long time. The amount of fucking episodes of that show that exists is just mind-boggling. It's like 25 years or something now.
Oh yeah, I think it's out. Is it longer than Doctor Who, or is it about on par with Doctor Who?
I mean, I don't know, but it's long as hell.
It's been on since the early 80s?
No.
The late 80s.
SVU was like late 90s.
Oh.
It was Ice-T.
Yeah. And then the one dude from Oz.
Yeah. Right. The bald guy who looks like a penis. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the other guy, Stabler, was in Oz too.
There you go.
1999 was Law and Order SVU. Yeah, Stabler, man, what a great character.
Oh yeah.
I've never watched all of Oz.
Really?
No.
Oh man, that was good.
That's what I've heard. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it for me. Anything else from you guys as far as the stand is concerned?
I think real quick, and I know my background noise is increased, but episode 4, Harold discovers so his mission is to kill the 4, and Whoopi Goldberg is his mission. The 5.
Yeah.
The leaders of the community, but he discovers how, and that's what leads to his friend getting killed by Nadine. And the how is you guys cover that real quick.
No,
yeah. The how is it was a ski, it was like an avalanche thing where
he found a flyer for the ski patrol, and then he goes to the library and starts researching how they do avalanche control. So then they go to the lodge and break into the bunker that's got the thermal it's an air fuel reaction. What they call them, hellfire bombs, I think, when they drop them from planes.
Yeah, he said because it catches the air on fire.
Yeah, they're wicked powerful in a small package. So that the crates that they were moving could probably take out the entire town if wired right.
There you go.
Do you agree, little one?
And so his good buddy is on the new police force. And so he's patrolling because they're turning the power back on. They're looking for any lights that are on, and that's how he discovers them. But yeah, that scene got me too. Like, run, Harold. Harold's like,
oh yeah,
in on it. Like,
no, right. Yeah, that was good. That was good. I mean, he would never hurt that guy, you know.
No.
Oh boy. Ken, and we've got. Now, what did she think of the stand, Paul? Your little daughter.
She was the one. Hey, Jovi, do you remember watching the show, The Stand? Good. Nope, we're good.
She's dreaming of Mother Abigail at night.
Right.
I just don't know it. But
I did like the scene in the nursing home with Mother Abigail, though, when she's sitting there just talking to her friends that are dead.
Yeah.
With
That was good. That was good. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, which is interesting, because at that point she'd already appeared in people's dreams, so she knew she was of some importance. Maybe she just didn't know that her mission continued beyond the home, because she was like, "Oh, I got
anybody was going to show up." That's what she said to her friend.
Right,
you're right. Yep.
She goes, "I don't know if I can wait any longer."
Her friend, her dead ass friend.
Yeah,
COVID hit that nursing home.
All right.
Okay. All right, Nancy.
Yes. On that note, thank you for listening, watching, wherever you're seeing this. We will be back maybe next week, maybe the week after. I don't know. We'll see. But we will be reviewing Journey to the Center of the Earth, the original classic, which I've never seen. This weekend, I believe that is going to be on Mike's channel. So Downright Nerdy Podcast YouTube channel, go over there, subscribe, hit the bell, all that fun stuff. Otherwise, where can they find you again, gentlemen?
Right there.
You choose.
Podcast and
yeah, there you go. And Paul?
Find me on the Tales from the Flipside YouTube channel. I try to be there for the show that I'm on Monday nights around 9:30. So
perfect. Well, hey, thank you so much for listening again. If you have a chance, watch The Stand. It's getting pretty good. It's a little weird, but I guess we're all on board now. So we're going to ride this thing out to the end. And everybody have a safe week until we see you soon.